able to for Africans.
And I mean, when we talk about, looking at the broader infiltration and corruption of all the safety and security arms, what he's saying, even though he's, testifying around Ekurhuleni, which obviously was his district, I think by and large can be said about a lot of the metro departments in and around the country.
No, definitely. I'm assuming that we will hear testimony, from other metropolitan departments, either in Victoria. Those are the things of reference from the president's directive to say
Mm,
that even these metropolitan departments must be looked at, because the way that Vusimuzi Matala had infiltrated the Ekurhuleni metropolitan department is with the assistance of Sultan is actually very outstanding. In a
mm,
sense, it was coordinated. And what Makilele also highlights is how he was sidelined from some of his decisions. Some of the appointments that were made by the Sultan went through the manager as well as before ER. And when it went for the complaint to the former city manager, Mashazi, he would take actually Sultan's side. I mean, he even went as far as to telling us about the robbery of his precious metal that,
mm,
he had pictures of the people who were on the ground. And when Mashazi received those pictures, he only looked for triggers and requested him, where is triggers? I'm not seeing him. He's like, no, but this is the team of officers that is
mm.
being led by you. And even the city manager not just not taking his side, accusing him of being personal, and having his business at the vendetta rather, but towards Julius Mfanazi. He even testified about going as far as the IP. So, IP took on to understanding that IP would now investigate this officers, but he found that they had said IP. He has to Mfanazi, hence why they haven't even seen any finality with the cases that Mfanazi has put in.
Yeah, when do we get to hear from this Chief Brigadier Julius Mkhwanazi, who also every time he's mentioned, we need to keep emphasizing because that no, we are not talking about the CIC of the Economic Freedom Fighters, and no, we are not talking about General
Mm.
Mkhwanazi, but we're
Yes.
talking about Brigadier Julius Mkhwanazi.
I think right now we obviously my that it's an November. So we're in the main phase coming in possibly beginning of December, probably even early next year, trying to, defend their actions and put their side of the story. So he will come as I always say, still early. But I mean, I think that the allegations that have been leveled against Secretary they are really just like out of this world, and how do you his way out of it?
Yeah. Lastly, Smasher, what do we know about the witness that's coming on later today? Apparently, there's another witness joining today's schedule.
Definitely, the next witness will be the rebel. He's a retired EMT people, and I think he will pivotal. He's the one who had sounded the alarm about this blue light saga that involved witnesses Matala as well as Kanazi. And he subsequently reported the matter to the Box police station. So I think testimony is meant to corroborate some of the testimony that we've had from the police station and he also sort of testify about some of the changes as well as some of the members that he's worked with which are, taught or identity linked to particular.
Mm. Smasher, we appreciate the time. Have yourself a good weekend, and we'll catch up with you again next week. That was Smasher Mota, SABC news reporter. It's just gone 18 past 1 o'clock. We're going to hit a quick pause, and then we'll be right back.
SAFM 104 to 107 nationwide. This November, SAFM proudly presents the third annual lecture.
And as the Freedom Charter says, no legitimate government could claim authority unless it is based on the will of the people. And I think sometimes people forget that.
SAFM invites you to our third annual public lecture delivered by Chancellor of the Nelson Mandela University, Dr. Geraldine Fraser Muleketi. The theme of the lecture is Confronting Inequality, Corruption and Unemployment, Rebuilding South Africa's Social Contract for Inclusive and Sustainable Growth. The lecture will take place on the 27th of November 2025 at the Indaba Hotel, Spa and Conference Center in Four Ways, Johannesburg. Secure your seat by emailing us at rsvp@safm.co.za. SAFM, leading the conversations that move us.
All right, as you heard, we are inviting you to our third annual public lecture that's going to be delivered by the Chancellor of the Nelson Mandela University, Dr. Geraldine Fraser Moligeti. And the lecture is going to take place on the 27th, right here in Johannesburg at the Indaba Hotel, Spa and Conference Center. And the theme this year is Confronting Inequality, Corruption and Unemployment, Rebuilding South Africa's Social Contract for Inclusive and Sustainable Growth. The simplest way to come and join us is to RSVP to secure your seat by emailing us at rsvp at safm.co.za. That's rsvp at safm.co.za. It's just gone 20 past 1 o'clock. We'll be back with our next guest.
Bridget Masinga, weekdays on the Full Circle.
All right, our next guest is Michele Galdroni, who's the director of the Italian Cultural Institute of Pretoria, and they're proud to present the highly anticipated South African debut of Italy's renowned National Choreographic Center at Balito, I think it is called. How are you doing, Michele?
Good, very good. Thank you, Bridget. It's a pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you so much for the time. We appreciate it. So, first and foremost, maybe give us some context around the work that is done by the Italian Cultural Institute of Pretoria, particularly as it ties to the Italian community in South Africa.
Yes, of course. We have a strict link, a good connection to Italian community, but we also work every South African. The idea is to present and to show the best of Italian culture, but also to stress the importance of culture everywhere and of cooperation. So every occasion is interesting for us to show how important is culture for us in Italy and in South Africa too. So it's a dialogue. Not only show Italian content, but also create a strong dialogue that makes it possible for South African art and culture to be best known in Italy without dialogue.
And by way of that dialogue and exchange, right? It's always interesting how host countries and visiting countries get to exchange in arts and culture. And what have been some programs perhaps that have been run through the institute that have shown that and that have partnered with the South African arts and culture industry for that purpose of engaged dialogue between the two?
Yes, we have in every field of culture where we work, we try to establish this dialogue. Perhaps, for example, we work with poetry and we brought Italian authors in Poetry Africa, that's a big event in this area. And we work a lot with opera, because opera is an Italian tradition, but we have very strong voices nowadays coming from South Africa, especially Cape Town, and they come from other cultural countries. But as in South Africa, you have a very good tradition of vocal tradition, choirs. This is very interesting here in South Africa. And the vocal music, jazz music or opera, uh, it's a good way to collaborate. So we have some programs in this area, and in the contemporary art, of course, we have some collaborations also with the art fair in Cape Town, especially because we work all over the nation. And there is also one collaboration. It's very interesting. I will tell you something about our next event. That company that comes from Reggio Emilia, at the
Mm.
ballet company you mentioned, comes from a very special city in Italy. Reggio Emilia has a special link to South Africa
Mm.
because Reggio Emilia, made in the 70s, was guest in exile in Reggio Emilia was Oliver Tambo.
Oh.
And some great personalities fight against apartheid lived in Reggio Emilia. And the
Mm.
city of Reggio Emilia made an agreement to support the fight against apartheid. And there will be an exhibition the next year in March at Capitol Hill
Mm.
about the relationship between the fight against apartheid and Reggio Emilia. And this dancing company that will come to the next days in South Africa comes from this city, comes from Reggio Emilia. So it's not the theme of this show, but
Mm.
there is a special link to for the city in Italy for the whole cultural work there.
I mean, wonderful to hear this. And tell us a little bit more, Michela, about Etabalito.
Yes,
Tell us more about this particular production and company.
yes. Well, there is in Acqualito, you find the best of contemporary dance in Italy, and they are produce shows everywhere on the main stages of the world. They are the most renowned company for contemporary dance. So Italy has a strong heritage
Mm.
tradition. So even the ballet tradition from Renaissance in Italy and and France. But in this case, we have contemporary dances. Dance, some of them have uh, schooling from a classical side, but this show is a very complex issue with contemporary movements. The dance from all over the world.
Mm.
The choreographic national center means that everything that is new, that is modern, that is up to date in dancing is the basis of the work of Arte Ballet.
Mm-hmm.
This case, we have a show with three parts, and
Mm.
they are surrounded with contemporary music and speaking about uh, feelings um, in the era like ours, where technology is very strong,
Mm.
and we must maintain uh, human feeling without borders to live our life the
Mm.
best way.
So
So this, yes,
So the company, Michaela, is on tour in South Africa from the 8th. That's from
yes,
tomorrow till the 12th. So they're here for the weekend, or at very least performing over the weekend.
yes.
And they're hitting all three. When I say all three city, I'm presuming they're hitting Durban, Joburg, or and Cape Town, or perhaps there's a different three cities that
And
they're
it's
hitting.
it's a different tour in this case. They go to first in Johannesburg.
Hmm.
This is tomorrow on Saturday at the usually at University of Johannesburg. Then they are going to Stellenbosch
Hmm.
to 10th of November. There were some practical reasons. Because we had to organize, so we had the chance to invite them, but they were obliged to act in space,
Mm.
and it's not really a real right state. So
Mm.
it's not every theater can accomplish with requirements. And we had the opportunity to go to Stellenbosch, that is the Cape Town area, and it's for us it's interesting because we never been to Stellenbosch, so to have an interest there is also fine. And on Wednesday they come to Pretoria. This is
Mm.
especially important for us because the first are sold out. We have tickets from Pretoria at the February Theatre on
Mm.
the 12th of November. They are also engaged in some workshops, but they are already organized, already closed.
Yeah.
So this is also this interaction with local dance schools, but this happens. But for the audience, I think the most interesting thing for the area of Korea, but they are able to for Wednesday.
Mm.
They are not very expensive, 120 cents,
Yeah,
and for the quality of that I can ensure the higher quality that we can offer from Italy is
absolutely. We doubt
worldwide.
not. We doubt not that it is probably a world-class show. So if you
Yes,
find yourself in the Pretoria area in Johannesburg and you can't get to Pretoria, there's still some tickets for that Wednesday show that is taking place, the final dance presentation show by Atta Bolito. But that's where we're going to leave it for today, Michela. That was Michela Galdroni, who's the director of the Italian Cultural Institute. It is 1:30 on Della standing by with the headline news.
Thank you, Bridget. On the news headlines, Ekurhuleni Metro Police Chief Jabulani Mabiyeye says the Independent Police Investigative Directorate is dealing with 9 cases involving officers in the city. Former Public Enterprises Minister Malusi Gigaba's lawyers have been meeting with officials from the Investigating Directorate Against Corruption in Pretoria. He was responding to summons from the National Prosecuting Authority. And the defense in the Senzo Meyiwa trial has objected to the state questioning one of the accused about a co-accused alleged confession statement. Muzisibiya has been under cross-examination in the High Court in Pretoria, where he is appearing alongside 4 co-accused. Aflabdi follows at the top of the hour.
SAFM 104 to 107 nationwide.
I'm Michelle Constant. Join the JSB crew and I every Saturday and Sunday morning between 7 and 10 a.m. We promise to keep you informed and entertained with innovation, culture, cars, travel, life learnings, environment, and of course, your big fat juicy. Small stories, big ideas, massive inspiration. The Jet Set Breakfast on SAFM.
Bridget Masinga, weekdays on the Full Circle.
It is the vocal sounds of Namapotwe with Hamba Ungemi is the name of the lead single from the album titled Hamba Ungemi. We get to find out more about the singer as well as the work that she does outside of performing with the Inner Project. How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm well, thank you, sister. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for the time. We appreciate it. I mean, first and foremost, maybe let's get some background
Mm.
around the single that we've just played.
It's a song that I wrote, which I wrote to actually inspire me with the situation that I was going through. And I thought it so resonates with so I
Mm.
feel it's feeling good and share that I share with the rest of the world to tell them that really people stop people just continue to do that situation, but you keep going.
Mm, mm. Is a lot of your music sort of on a similar vein in terms of reflecting on your own experiences and perhaps using that as a catalyst for your listener and your audience's own personal journeys of be it transformation or the need for encouragement or the need for inspiration?
With the current situation, with the songs that I write, I try to write to inspire. I try to write to motivate, encourage.
Mm,
And but the songs that most of the songs that are in the album are songs that I've been given in my sleep. So it's the songs that were chosen mostly by by my creative gang, the
mm.
underground gang. It's the songs that were chosen.
Mm. And now I'm often fascinated by, spiritually connected creatives because as you say, it's the songs that were given to you in your sleep by the underground gang. So paint us perhaps if you can as much as you would like to a picture of that creative process and that spiritual connection and how that comes to how that comes to be represented in the music.
Usually mostly the songs are mostly given by sleep. I would sometimes songs or sometimes melody would come and would continue maybe like tomorrow I would give them another line that connects with the line that I was given. Sometimes I'm given a full song.
Mm,
Because the first time like the first time I experienced very
mm,
that song came just as, you know, with the verse, the chorus, the bass melody, everything, everything in the song came out. So it's a beautiful experience. Keep, it, it's helping me to shape artists. It's helping me to shape the craft,
mm.
the gift, giving me something that I keep thanking the Lord, thanking the ancestors. It's helping embracing. It's
Mm.
beautiful.
I want us to just pause here for a second for a quick ad break, and then we'll come back on the other side. And we'll get into conversation around the Inner Project program. I want to find out more about how your music comes to extend itself for young emerging artists. It's fast approaching 20 to 2 o'clock. A quick pause on the full circle with myself, Bridget Masinga on SAFM.
You could spend 10 minutes on social media,
Or get a 10-minute quote from Outsurance that could save you thousands on your car insurance. For his 2024 GWM P Series, 54-year-old Amos now pays only 1,004 Rand a month. And for his 2024 Toyota Urban Cruiser, 55-year-old Andre pays just 776 Rand a month. Ready to get more out of your car insurance? SMS out to 30754. That's out to 30754. Outsurance, licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Afternoon Express is proud to be nominated in multiple categories at the 3rd Annual National Film and TV Awards taking place on Saturday, the 22nd of November. And you can add your voice by voting. Visit nationalfilmacademy.com, register and vote for Afternoon Express in the Best Entertainment Show category, Palisa Tembe for Best TV Presenter, and myself, Ayanda Jitabete, for Best Female TV Personality and Celebrity Personality of the Year. Voting closes on the 20th of November at midday.
SAFM commemorates Disability Rights Awareness Month under the theme Celebrating 30 Years of Democracy, creating strategic, multi-sectoral partnerships for a disability-inclusive society. SAFM supports and works tirelessly towards equity and equality for those living with disabilities. Empowerment is key. Let us break the barriers and improve the quality of life for those living with disabilities. Our efforts towards a better life for those living with disabilities can only be impactful when we do so together. We do not tolerate any kind of discrimination. Disability Awareness Month 2025 on SAFM 104 to 107 FM nationwide, leading the conversations that move us.
Extraordinary doesn't just happen, it's built brick by digital brick. Vodacom Business is helping shape South Africa's businesses from scalable cloud and AI that powers smarter decisions to IoT and connectivity that bridges every gap, backed by security that you can trust. Together with business and government, Vodacom Business is building stronger industries and thriving communities, a nation ready to lead. Visit www.vodacombusiness.co.za. Together, let's build the extraordinary. Vodacom Business, further together.
SAFM 104 to 107 nationwide. Bridget Masinga on SAFM.
Right, we are in conversation with singer-songwriter Noma Potwe, and we got some background around her process of creating a connection to the underground gang, her ancestral lineage. And then, of course, you also extend yourself beyond just creating music for your fans, but you've initiated what you call the Inner Project program. Tell me more about this program.
So it's a voice study. Um, it's a project that was one very recent with a space where my artist and my information. So what I've learned along the years that the true work artists really function or your
Mm,
next start
mm,
it starts with how that's with that's with the title, you
mm.
know. So I decided to create a program that is going to allow they to flow their inner world, you know, fuel our soul, encourage it, um, to actually see themselves, you know, share the things that we do not comfortable to share with
Mm,
it's a safe space. I call this my love soul.
And I mean, very important work when you sort of sit back and listen to conversations that young artists often have around their journeys, right? And part of what they often bring up is that missing link of mentorship, the ability to lean into people who've traveled the road or are currently on the road and gain some of that experience and learn from where they've stumbled or how they've done things in order for them to be able to really cheat that, to go around that and get to the destination of success a little bit quicker with far less injury.
Yes, yes. Because we were never fortunate enough to have that project in my time. We know projects that produce performing in a short time. So I thought if we had the time, to rather try and create programs that are going to perform in young
Mm.
and help them where we can help them with the little resources, little knowledge they have.
Mm, mm.
Mm,
Well, I mean, no knowledge is little. The resources we can debate because we have a department that sometimes unplugs itself from the creative sector that it's meant to service.
yes,
But the wealth of experience that you bring to the table, I think, is something that any young artist probably covets and
yes.
can't wait to share in. But speaking of those resources, who does? Sort of plug into your program and help you amplify and magnify it?
Honestly, since I've started this with with when the brand that you
Mm,
know where we just buy it and have have been asked questions, sing along, kind of finding.
mm,
And Thursday we start to chat at a circle. I got and
mm,
which is because I able to leave uh, from the project of from the session of them. Now I'm going to have much better session, much comfortable music. Going to have
mm. It's always unfortunate that we know the relevant ears listen to shows like this, but they
mm,
oftentimes ignore
yeah.
creatives, but let's see. Let's see what happens.
Let's see
Um,
what else.
for your fans, your audience that have followed your career for the last 2 decades, what is in store for them? Do you have any plan of perhaps putting together a show? Are you performing anywhere come the holiday time or anywhere where people can track some of your movements?
So I launched the album last year. Just
Mm,
my launch in Cape Town, out of my sister went to Cape Town, went to East London. Cape Town was start theater, East London was Guild Theatre, and then I came to Joe Beach sold out.
mm,
So now I'm going to Jordan for his album tour because I'm joining him in Cape Town on the 12th, also joining him in East London on the 7th. So I'm
mm.
still looking forward to that. Saturday, we hope find ways to share the stage once again.
Mm. Well, it sounds like it's going to be a fun day out, and we wish you the very best, especially with the project and all of your endeavors. The Inner Voice project, and of course, that album Hamba Ungebi is still out there, available for you to download wherever you get your music, whatever platform you use. Noma Bocho, it was a pleasure getting to know you this afternoon. Let's take a quick pause. And then we'll come back on the other side of the break and we're going to get into our kids programming. It's side by side today, if I'm not mistaken, right? Side by side, which should take us to the very top of, oh, it's Nalibali today. It's Nalibali today, brought to you by the Nalibali Foundation, and it will take us to the top of the hour. Ondela is going to bring us the 2 o'clock news. There's so much going on in the news. Like, I want to know, is Malusi Gigaba, aka Gigabytes, has he been charged? Has he not been charged? Because we woke up with him saying he's appearing to court for reasons unknown to him. And then Jiggy Jiggy, a couple of minutes later, he told us he's going back to bed. So I'm not too sure what's going on there. But let's take a quick pause and then we'll be back.
SAFM 104 to 107 nationwide.
Are you looking for the best spectacle and sunglass deal? With Specsavers buy one get one offer, you get great value for money. Get a free pair of branded single vision prescription sunglasses up to 3,300 Rand when you purchase a comprehensive eye examination and spectacle frames with lenses on your first pair. The best part? Choose from top brands like Police, Hugo, Under Armour, Tommy Hilfiger, Red Bull Specs, and more. Affordable eye care? Specsavers. T's and C's apply.
Ready to connect, innovate, and be inspired? It's all happening at Africa's Tech Festival, where Africa's technology meets the world. From the 10th to the 13th of November in Cape Town, join global leaders, investors, and innovators driving the future of Africa's digital economy. Don't miss the continent's biggest week in tech. Get your pass now at africatechfestival.com.
So, you just switched to a different brand of kitchen appliances, and you're still preparing healthy food and drinks, preserving nutrients and using less fat while saving time. Of course you are, because you made a clever switch to Click Smart Life by Cambrook. Kitchen appliances designed for a healthier lifestyle, with Click's trusted quality and great value. When you switch, it just clicks. Switch and save only at Clicks.
This program is brought to you by SABC Education, enriching minds, enriching lives.
Hello, friends, and welcome to Nali Bali. Do you have a pet at home? Maybe a dog, a cat, a bird, or even a little fish? Pets are not just animals, they are part of our family, and they need our love and care every day. Taking care of our pets means feeding them, giving them clean water, keeping their space safe, and of course, playing with them so they feel happy. Pets can't talk like we do, so they depend on us to keep them healthy and loved. When we care for our pets, we learn responsibility, kindness, and gentleness. And the best part is pets give us love right back. They wag their tails, purr, chip, or swim around happily to show they're thankful. So let's remember that caring for our pets is more than just fun. It's a promise to look after them. Now it's time to listen to today's story called The Missing Puppy, written by Vuyo Kazingemtu. But before we listen to today's story, let's all get up and... Yewanda's dog Lulu was a beautiful Maltese poodle that followed her everywhere. Ikole, Yewanda's brother, used to tease her that Lulu was a shadow. Yewanda would stick out her tongue and roll her eyes at him.
Ugh, it's not my fault animals don't like you, Ikole.
Stop it, children, said Mama. But of course, they'd pick it up again another time. One morning, Yewanda put some dark biscuits in Lulu's dish and called for her to come and eat.
Oh, Lulu, breakfast time,
she shouted. Lulu never took longer than a few seconds to come running, yet 5 minutes passed, and she was nowhere to be seen. Yewanda looked everywhere. She picked under her bed, looked in the garage and the bathroom, searched under the kitchen table in the garden, but no Lulu.
Where could she be?
Yewanda cried. Mama helped her look. At first, Ikole made fun of his sister for being so sad about her dog.
Maybe she grew tired of always following behind you.
He said, laughing in her face.
You don't know what you're talking about. Lulu loves me.
Sure.
She said, shoving him.
Enough, both of you.
When Mama and Yewande came back later, they couldn't believe their eyes.
Oh, wow, Ikole, that's very good,
said Mama. Yewande agreed. The picture looked just like her Lulu. Mama made a poster with missing dog written in bold. She offered a handsome cash reward for any information leading to Lulu's safe return. The three of them spent the afternoon putting up posters all over town. In no time at all, people were arriving at their home with dogs they said they were Lulu so they could claim the reward. But none of the dogs were Lulu. Ikole felt sorry for his sister and tried to cheer her up.
Hey, Yawande, come on. Let's play soccer in the yard. What do you say?
He said, offering his sister his ball. Yewande shook her head.
No thanks. I'm not in the mood to play,
she said. She wasn't interested in borrowing his phone either, or his favorite jacket which she always begged him for. A few days later, when Ikole was coming back from school, he saw something that made him blink and rub his eyes. Right there, looking at him through the back window of a blue car, was his sister's dog.
What? Lulu! Lulu!
He shouted. The dog started barking and jumping up and down happily. The strange man sitting in the driver's seat noticed this and got out of the car.
Hey, what are you doing? Stop calling my dog,
said the stranger.
What? No, that's my sister's dog, not yours,
said Ikole.
Yona-san, are you talking back to me?
Asked the man angrily. Ikole didn't move. Instead, he started screaming for help and a crowd gathered.
Hey, what's the problem?
Asked the policeman.
This child is claiming that the dog is his. I think he just wants my dog,
said the stranger.
Young man, what's going on here?
Asked the policeman.
Sir, that's my sister's dog, Lulu. She got Lulu when she was 2 years old, sir.
What nonsense! You do know you can get in trouble for lying, right?
Said the stranger, turning back to his own car.
No, sir, but I'm not lying. Look, you see, I even made a picture of Lulu in my pocket. Here you go.
Ikole said, handing one of the missing dog posters to the policeman. The policeman looked at the picture carefully and then at the dog. The two looked very similar.
Sir, what is your dog's name and where did you get her?
The policeman asked the stranger.
This is Chi-Chi, and she's been in my family for 7 years,
said the stranger, speaking quietly while trying to get back into his car.
I'll tell you what. Take the dog out of the car and we'll see who she really goes to when both of you call her name.
The stranger didn't look pleased at all. He hesitated and then took the dog out of the car.
Chi-Chi, come here, girl. Chi-Chi, come.
He said repeatedly. After he put the dog on the ground, the dog looked confused and a bit afraid. It whined and looked from him to Ikole.
Here, Lulu. Here, come, Lulu. Come. Lulu, come. Lulu, come.
Said Ikole. Immediately, the dog ran towards Ikole, her tail wagging excitedly. She bounced up and down at Ikole's feet. The stranger was upset.
This is unfair. The boy must be using magic or something,
he said. The policeman wasn't fooled.
Get away before I arrest you for lying about owning this dog.
The man rushed off to his car. Ikole scooped up the dog and quickly rushed home. He couldn't wait to see his sister's face when she saw Lulu. Yewande was overcome with joy. After hugging and crying over Lulu, she turned to Ikole and gave him the biggest hug.
Well, I'm glad your shadow's back, Yewande.
Ikole said.
All because of you. Thank you. I love you so much.
And so we come to the end of another Nali Bali story time. Today's story was called The Missing Puppy, written by Vuyo Kazingemtu. Did you know that reading and telling stories to children at home can help them do better at school? If you want free stories to read to your children or for your children to enjoy on their own, visit the Nali Bali website www.nalibali.org or Mobi site www.nalibali.mobi. You will find stories in 11 South African languages as well as tips for reading and sharing stories with your children to grow their potential. Also look out for the bilingual Nali Bali Reading for Enjoyment supplement with great children's stories and activities available in newspapers. Nali Bali, it starts with a story.
This program was brought to you by SABC Education, enriching minds, enriching lives.
On the top stories, IP's dealing with cases linked to EMPD officers and a powerful storm makes landfall in Vietnam. For SAFM News, I'm Onda Lambana, and a very good day. Ekurhuleni Metro Police Chief Jabulani Mapiyeye says the Independent Police Investigative Directorate is dealing with 9 cases involving officers in the city. Some of the cases include 3 Metro Police members who are part of a team that his deputy Julius Mkwanazi heads. The cases include murder, theft of copper cables and precious stones. Mapiyeye has accused IPD investigator Tulani Magagula of stalling the investigations due to his alleged close proximity to Mkwanazi. Mapiyeye is testifying before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry in Pretoria.
I, on numerous occasions, raised concerns with the Executive Director of IPID, Ms. Ntlanseng, regarding the conduct of the IPID investigator, Mr. Makakula, in particular regarding his persiveness and close relationship with Brigadier Mkwanazi, as well as victimization of myself and the witnesses in these cases.
Former Public Enterprises Minister Malusi Gigaba's lawyers have been meeting with officials from the Investigating Directorate Against Corruption in Pretoria. He was responding to summons from the National Prosecuting Authority. IDEC says it is engaging with the lawyers of Gigaba, who has not been arrested and will not appear in court today. The charges against him relate to contracts, including one for the procurement of locomotives worth multi-million rand at Transnet. IDEC spokesperson Henry Mamutame says Gigaba is cooperating with investigators.
The Investigating Directorate Against Corruption is having engagements with Mr. Malusi Gigaba, and he has not been placed under any arrest. Therefore, there will not be any court appearance today. IDEC will also not be commenting any further on this matter.
The defense in the Senzo Miwa trial has objected to the state questioning one of the accused about a co-accused alleged confession statement. Muzi Sibiya has been under cross-examination in the High Court in Pretoria, where he is appearing alongside 4 co-accused. The 5 men are charged with killing the former Bafana captain in October 2014. In the confession statement that Bongani Ndanzi made, Sibiya was on the lookout when 2 intruders entered the Kumalo home in Vosloorus. The state says all the accused are being charged under common purpose, but the defense counsel, Charles Mnisi, says that the confession statement cannot be used against another accused.
Now, what is it that is before court that the state says they want to cross-examine Mr. Sibiya on? These are the documents that they are saying. These are statements that the state is saying are confessions that were made by Mr. Ntanzi. Now, the law with regards to the admissibility of confessions in respect of another person is governed by Section 219 of the Criminal Procedure
of paragraph 68.
I thought SC had dealt with number 68.
You may continue. Thank you.
Number 69, I subsequently saw Brigadier Mkwanazi sign all EMPD communications as a Deputy Chief of Police Operations. I submit that this constitutes a misrepresentation, as he has never been appointed by the panel to this position, neither as he conferred his rank by me as the Chief of Police.
SABC, host broadcaster of the G20 South Africa 2025.
Gqeberha has hosted 3 G20 working group meetings this year. The first one,
Twala, who was hiding behind the door armed with a tow bar, struck him several times on the head, killing him instantly. He fled the scene with the victim's cell phone and a Bluetooth speaker.
A powerful storm which killed more than 100 people in the Philippines has caused extensive damage after tearing through central Vietnam. Typhoon Kalmaegi made landfall late yesterday, bringing winds of up to almost 150 kilometers an hour. Houses were destroyed, trees uprooted, and at least 5 people are reported to have died. The BBC's Jonathan Head has more details.
The biggest impact of it was last night when it first struck the coast of central Vietnam, and the winds were extremely strong then. But people had plenty of time to prepare. The authorities deployed the army, they closed airports. There were very, very strong winds. We've seen a lot of trees come down. We've seen roofs blown off, plate glass walls and windows blown in. But from the reports that the authorities are giving this morning as they assess the damage, we're not hearing of any particularly catastrophic events or high casualties.
Recapping the top story, Ekurhuleni Metro Police Chief Jabulani Mapieye says the Independent Police Investigative Directorate is dealing with 9 cases involving officers in the city. I'm Ondelambana for SFM News Headlines at 2:30.
This is Lungi on any other regular day.
This economy makes me post once a day. Who does that? Like, ew.
Now this is Lungi getting extra with the 20 gig summer deal for just 99 Rand.
I have so many gigs. I could even have a gig, guys. I'm going live every single day to me because get
Extra your summer. Get 20 gigs plus 2 months free YouTube Premium and 100 Vodabucks exclusively on the VodaPay app. T's and C's apply. Further together, Vodacom.
The Expresso Morning Show has been nominated in 5 categories in the 3rd Annual National Film and Television Awards South Africa.
It all happens on Saturday, the 22nd of November 2025 at the South African State Theatre in Pretoria. And public voting is open from the 13th of October to the 20th of November at midday.
So visit nationalfilmacademy.com, register and vote for Expresso Morning Show in all 5 categories.
Then, of course, catch us weekdays 6 to 9 a.m. right here on S3.
This November, SAFM proudly presents the 3rd annual lecture.
And as the Freedom Charter says, no legitimate government could claim authority unless it is based on the will of the people. And I think sometimes people forget that.
SAFM invites you to our 3rd annual public lecture, delivered by Chancellor of the Nelson Mandela University, Dr. Geraldine Fraser-Moleketi. The theme of the lecture is confronting inequality, corruption and unemployment, rebuilding South Africa's social contract for inclusive and sustainable growth. The lecture will take place on the 27th of November 2025 at the Indaba Hotel, Spa and Conference Center in Fourways, Johannesburg. Secure your seat by emailing us at rsvp@safm.co.za. SAFM, leading the conversations that move us.
Clientele is here to safeguard you and your family with compassion because life happens. Be part of a family that truly cares. Our funeral dignity plans have helped South Africans bury their loved ones with dignity for more than 30 years. Let us help you create a meaningful tribute that honors your life and those of your loved ones. We pay out within 24 hours and you will get double accident cover with a clientele funeral plan. Our plans are affordable. Pick the option that suits your needs. Easy to apply, no medical examinations, and no paperwork. SMS SAFM to 48031. That's 48031. Clientele Life is an authorized FSP and licensed life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
This Monday evening at 7 on My Design Rules, our duos tackle the final space upstairs, the primary ensuite bedroom. This is the homeowner's sanctuary and a chance for the duos to express their creativity through design. They've reached the halfway mark in the competition, and each week is one step closer to the grand prize of up to 600,000 Rand in cash. Join us Monday evening at 7, repeat Saturday at 2, and Sunday at 4 p.m. Only on S3.
I don't love school. I don't love trying to learn like everyone else learns and falling behind when I don't understand. But I do love learning. I do love working to my own schedule and getting the support when I need extra help. I do love UCT Online High School because I do love my future. Apply online before 28 November.
Introducing South Africa's most affordable way to get hearing aids. At Specsavers Audiology, you can now get a pair of hearing aids from as little as 599 Rand per month. Hearing clearly shouldn't be a luxury. Enjoy life's moments from 599 Rand per month. Test your hearing today and join the conversation with Specsavers Audiology. T's and C's apply.
Gender-based violence is destroying lives and tearing communities apart. It happens in homes, in schools, at workplaces, and too often in silence. But it doesn't have to continue. If you see it, speak out. If you are hurting, reach out. Because doing nothing is not an option. Listen to all 19 SABC radio stations for hard talk, discussions, advice, dramas, educational shows, and interviews around GBV with experts, survivors, lawmakers, and a whole country affected by gender-based violence. All on your favorite SABC radio station. Call 0800 428 428 to report abuse or get help. GBV, it ends with you. This message is brought to you by the SABC. We're not just building technology, we're building the future of South Africa. From cloud that grows with your business, to AI that empowers decisions, and IoT that connects people, places, and possibilities. Vodacom Business is here to help you lead with confidence. Visit www.vodacombusiness.co.za. Together, let's build the extraordinary. Vodacom Business, further together.
The Natal Rich Boys have a big task to spoil the Buccaneers' day, but the black and white Gents from Orlando are adamant that they will march to the final. This is the Carling Knockout Semi-Final. Catch Richards Bay versus Orlando Pirates this Saturday, 8 November at 2:30 p.m. live on SABC Plus and SABC One. Then at 3 p.m. on SABC radio stations. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
For the love of the game.
Ish, at school I was falling behind. They thought I wasn't trying, bruh. Truth is, I couldn't see well, and I felt as small as the words on the board. And then, teacher came to sit with me and realized I needed glasses. Bruh, now everything's changed.
Take time to listen. With enough love and support, children don't just catch up, they thrive.
Visit holdmyhand.org.za.
Together, we can change their future.
SAFM 104 to 107 nationwide.
The Full Circle with Bridget Masinga, Monday to Friday, 1 to 3 p.m.
Lucky for us, the Commission has given us a little bit more time to play with. They took to lunch a little bit late today, so they still are at lunch. And we thought, well, let's optimize on that time and catch up with Usuela Langeni, co-founder of the Book Circle Capital. And it is the Book Circle. We're reviewing some books with her today. That list, the summer reading list, is ever growing. How are you doing this afternoon, Suela?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me in between the commission.
I mean, it really can't be a Friday without you. It would have just felt weird. But
Thank you.
let's see what is on the agenda today. Now, I was surprised when I got the invite for the launch of this first book that we're talking about, because I was also surprised and confused because in my mind I thought, didn't Dr. Tebe Ikalafeng just release a book? And then why is he having a launch after he did a whole book tour? Only
Yes,
to realize that no, we're not talking about a different book.
it's a new book. Yes, I was just as equally surprised when the publisher reached out to me. I actually put it back. I'm like, I have no excuses not to write because wow, he's just on a roll. So yeah, he did travel like late last year, and
Mm,
this year he did and Rising
yeah.
at Constitutional Hill. So it's the second book. As we all know, he's passionate about Africa. This time is more of a almost like a textbook guide. How do we stay rooted and rising in our purpose, reclaiming our Africanness and how we do things.
Mm,
So he has the 7 P's: cause, purpose, proof, presence, and protection,
mm,
where he wants us to align our professional success with our cultural identity. So rather than asking Africans to assimilate or hide their heritage, the book is asking us to declare our African identity, not just an asset, but it's a competitive advantage. And this
mm,
is something that many people who follow him would know, that he not only just writes about, he lives by it, going
mm.
all around the continent, making sure that we find synergy with each other's countries, find ways to collaborate and increase our the continent. So yeah, I think many people will be surprised because they'll be thinking he just traveler, which was the bestseller, and now
Mm. Interesting, very interesting indeed. I mean, as you say, just from what you were saying about rooted and rising, it very much is in keeping with the essence of who Tebe Ikalafeng is and what he's come to represent both personally
yes,
and professionally. But also, I guess, proving even with the traveler, as you've just said, that it became a bestseller, proving that
mm,
there is an appetite for Africans to connect
yes.
across you know the continent, but also to find common purpose and common identity.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of the issues we'll suffer with, like, where how we were portrayed, due to colonialism. So he's trying to say, discover it for yourself. And Traveler talks about the countries he visited on the continent.
Mm,
Almost debugging some of the myths and the stereotypes we hold against each other, just by virtue of maybe what we could have heard, what we would have seen on social media. With this one, he's taking it a level next to say, he's profiling stories of
mm,
people on the continent who are making a success of being multicultural, they're traversing this whole continent to find opportunities that give us that competitive advantage.
mm. Now, here's what I've got to ask you. If we switch our brains a little bit and just look at the business of publishing,
Yeah,
and the business of selling books.
yeah.
Let's have a little bit of a conversation around a short time release between books,
Mm.
because has he given enough time for the traveler to ventilate itself, amongst readers before releasing this book? I almost feel like there could be a possibility where he wrote an extended version of the traveler and a publisher said,
Mhm.
actually, there's two books in one here, so let's split them into two.
I mean, you putting me in a corner here because, but that's typically what happens. I mean, I remember when somebody was here on the call, Bridget call.
Yes.
I mean, she was honest enough to say when she pitched the book, the series to the publisher, it was one book, and
Mm,
she was encouraged to break it down and literally have a book every year. So I'm not sure if this is the case here,
mm,
but I guess they look at the numbers. Someone like Dr. Tere Ikala know that it will still do well. And
mm,
I think what he's doing, which I saw at launch, which I had the pleasure of attending, he's still pushing them through, almost like one, but not movie.
mhm.
So it's possible that when he pitched one big thing and the public was like, let's break it down. But I can't definitely be sure of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I won't continue to put you on the spot and ask whether or not that is a good marketing strategy. to compete against yourself.
Yes, yes, please, especially the cricketer himself. Yeah, I don't want to go against.
Right? I'll ask him one day whether or not is that a good strategy. But we wish him much success, even with this book, Rooted and
Yes.
Rising, by Dr. Tebe Ikalefeng. What's next on our agenda?
Next is Ulibambe Lingashoni, edited by Dr. Bimani Mulunga. It's a collection of essays on the early history of the weekly station Zulu newspaper Ilanga Lasenatal, published by Robert John Nomavukela in 1903. So it was the first newspaper to be published in Zulu. So it examines the history of the newspaper and the role and what it plays in the life of modern black people, literary innovation among colonial oppression. So Dr. Mulunga is no stranger to writing in a book and see, which was an award-winning book in 2017. So he gathered a group of contributors here that talk about, the education at the time, the political that are played. We've spoken about those on this show before, Bridget, about the newspaper at the time to be that voice of people. Some of the contributors here in Hadebe has a huge Atambile Masola and Konika Shange, Professor Sonika Mupena, we spoke about her, the one with just Peter Lem, Marike Dupuri, Temba Ndima, and Sipuman. So I think so promises to be a fascinating read. They'll be launching it this month now in a nationwide tour. Just follow Dr. to see where he will be speaking about this.
I also always get a little bit tickled when we talk about the Dubes because I think Umam Nogutela has such a phenomenal story in her own right, and it's wonderful to slowly seeing in recent years a lot of people archiving her contribution alongside her husband, and even highlighting her on her own just for everything that she was for South Africa, for the liberation story, for African identities, for young black girl children at the time. So it's wonderful to see that she keeps getting pulled into the history alongside her husband.
Yes, and actually, I remember about 3 years ago, I was just thinking about it when I was preparing this list. There was a magazine, almost journal, that came out about it, which we stocked at Book Circle Capital just post-COVID. I wonder if the publisher still has them, but it was a self-published into the film about her. So you're absolutely right that we're seeing more work. Even in Bogobi series that Tambile Masula and Dr. Polisa did, there's a chapter about her. So I'm loving this as well. We're seeing this erasure, being turned back, and we're knowing about that also plays a key role in
As you talk about the magazine, it was published by Ulana and now she Asanda. I forget. I always forget her surname because I always want to say Sizane, and it's not. But yes, Asanda was the one, and a partner of hers were behind the magazine. In fact, we spoke about it on my first show on SAFM. We had her on the show, Sizane. Yes, and with that film as well that accompanied that. And then the last book that we are talking about today, Unbothered Teens Guide to Emotional Intelligence and Resilience.
Yes, yes. A lot of teen parents would love this one. I came across this book about 2, 3 weeks ago and I was super excited. But a lot of emotions for young kids. And we go deaf, silent on the teenagers. So Crazy Mabunda has done a refreshing guide for teenagers navigating the pressures of growing up, balancing emotions, friendships, skills, and self-discovery. So instead of lecturing, which is what we parents tend to do, it offers validation, related insights, practical tools to handle life challenges with confidence. I'm happy that it's like an emotional workshop thing, combined with a photo exhibition on the 12th of November. Crazy will be speaking. Also have
Mm.
when we're trying to talk about this issue of emotion, targeting teenagers and just finding ways to bring it to life. Sandy was coming in from an acting point of view, Crazy talking about it from a book point of view. It's a collaboration with an NGO called Idea Lab.
Mm.
But peeling back and this book, I think it's targeted directly at the kids, not for parents to understand that kids do strange with themselves. I think this is an awesome one. I mean, we know, especially this time of the year, for matriculants, for kids waiting in anticipation of what's next for them. It's quite stressful. Be nice to
Yeah.
help them navigate things.
I don't want to use the term self-help. I don't know what the category is in your world of selling books, but we grew up in an era where they call them self-help books.
Yeah.
And as you say, we've seen so many books, if not exclusively just targeting adults, right? How to
Yes.
be a better you, how to deal with this,
Yes.
how to deal with that. But we never really see, or I've never really come across any titles that are specifically focused for
Yeah.
a teenage or younger audience in this category of literature.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so exciting. And I'm deliberate. I guess as a parent, you always, based on where your child is, you seek out those kind of things. But when I saw it, I was very, very excited because, like you, I haven't seen the lady that reached out to me and actually have copies of it. So she's also targeting this market. So we see more and more people trying to. Rumbi that is addressing it more from a career point of view, career guidance. Remember, we would have career guidance.
Yes.
Like that's what we have now. It's very old. But she's trying to be. So how do you get ready for the world? But also she tackles emotions. She tackles anxiety. She tackles that failure to launch kind of thing that our kids now have. Get to start because young people expect so much from you. So yeah, I'm happy to see content like this, and you are right. We still need more.
Absolutely. When you use the term failure to launch, I thought I was the only person who uses it. Right, absolutely, absolutely. It's a wonderful opportunity, I think, also this for mom, dads, and guardians to plug into their kids' emotions. I mean, I don't know how you begin to buy the book and give it to your child because I don't see a child walking into your bookstore or any other bookstore and finding this title for themselves. So I guess the responsibility would be on the adult to get the book and somehow encourage their kid to actually open it and read it.
Yeah, and that's why we are not even like launching it like in the traditional sense of how we launch. So it's a photo exhibition where the kids at a school have done a photo exhibition of emotions. They've taken pictures that exhibit emotions. We're going to talk about that. And then we're like, by the way, do you know that the because you're absolutely right. This is not something that, though Crazy does a good job in their language, and being very much relatable right now. She posts and talks to kids about this, but it's not, especially from what we know, even in that age where they fall off reading. So not only are you fighting the genre, you're fighting like, do I even want to pick up a book? So that's why we have to be clever in how we then. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, as always, it's a pleasure, Suwale. Thank you so much for the time. That was founder of the book Circle Capital, Usiwela Langeni, as she always brings us the book Circle here every single Friday. It's fast approaching 2:30. We are going to, in about a minute, we are going to catch up with Ondela with the headline news, and then hopefully by the other side of the headline news, the Madlanga Commission will be back in session. They went to lunch a little bit late today, but they should be back because also after Umabiye, we were waiting on a second witness to come through. So I'm sure they are not wrapped for the day. They normally wrap a little bit early on a Friday, but they haven't said anything about wrapping for the day. So I guess they're going to be pushing through the afternoon. We're just going to patiently wait and see when do they come back. It's almost 2:30. Ondela standing by with the headline news.
SAFM 104 to 107 nationwide.
Thank you, Bridget. On the news headlines, the Madlanga Commission has heard how Ekurhuleni Metro Police Chief Jabulani Mabiyeye was threatened with a hitman for insisting on a disciplinary hearing against his deputy, Brigadier Julius Mkwanazi. The Gauteng Department of Education has expressed concern after the deputy principal at Dinodo Technical Secondary School in Davidton in Ekurhuleni was shot while entering the school premises this morning. And the Sudanese government has called for a guarantee from the international community that the paramilitary rapid support forces will respect their proposals for a ceasefire before they agree to it. A full update follows at the top of the hour.
Bridget Masinga is streaming live now on Facebook, YouTube, and X at SAFM Radio.
All right, they've just settled back into their seats, back from lunch break, looking like the tummies are full and they're ready to commence. So we are going to dip back into the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. That's where we leave it on the full circle for this week. The next voice that you are going to hear, I mean, I want to say John, but I'm not too sure if Ashraf is back from Young World. It's still John. Okay, so John is going to be the next voice that you hear here on SAFM. From our end, have a great weekend. Inshallah, God willing, we get to do it again.
So help me God. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Commissioner. Could you place your names on record formally?
My name is Revo Spies, and I'm a former employee of Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department.
Thank you. I think you are fairly tall. If you could just adjust the mic slightly upwards so for your voice to carry better. Thank you.
Does he need two mics? I leave it to you, Advocate Silo.
I actually had settled for two mics because he sounded like he too speaks softly. There is nodding in the room, so I think please keep both on. Thank you. Commissioner Spies, you have before you two white files. One I'll call a small file and then the big file. The white file contains one document and the big file contains more documents and they are marked and flagged on the side. You see that?
Correct.
Before we deal with the contents of these files, can I confirm, have you prepared and submitted a statement to the Commission on matters you're about to testify on?
Yes, Commissioners, I have.
May I refer you to the small file? And that the index to that file lists a document, statement of Revo Spies. Do you see that?
That's correct, Commissioner.
Please turn over, and that would be the first page of the statement. When you flip through it, it will take you to page 35.
That's correct, Commissioner.
Apologies. Do you confirm that this is the statement you have submitted for consideration by the Commission?
Yes, I confirm so, Commissioner.
Is this a statement you intend to attach your signature thereto as confirmation that it is your statement?
Yes, I do.
And lastly, do you confirm the correctness of the contents of this statement?
I confirm the correctness of the statement.
And do you stand by the contents of the statement?
I stand by the contents of the statements, Commissioners.
Thank you, Commissioner Spies. Let's then turn to the statement itself. And I invite you to have regard to page 3. From page 3 at paragraphs 1 to 8. No, let's say 1 to 6. You deal under the heading Introduction and Background with what you do, what you did for the EMPD, and we will take it from there, I would like you to deal with the contents of those paragraphs and inform the commissioners about who you are and your history of service as you have set out in those paragraphs. Thanks.
Commissioners, I'm an adult male. I'm a former employee of the Ekurhuleni Metropolitan Police Department. I've served in the police service for 43 years, of which 33 of them was with the Ekurhuleni Metro Police. In total, I have 43 years of law enforcement. I officially retired on early pension from EMPD, and my last working date with them was 28 February this year, 2025. Before my retirement, I held the position of Deputy Municipal Police Commissioner, and I was appointed as such on 1 August 2022 as the Deputy Chief of Police Auxiliary and Logistical Support Services. My responsibilities in that specific position was overseeing the different auxiliary and support services sections, which included the Ekurhuleni Metro Police Training Academy, the Ekurhuleni Municipal Courts Fine Administration section, and then also the Metro Police logistical and support sections, which have a lot of smaller subsections related to vehicle fleet, human resources, radio fleet, stores, and finance and procurement and budget portions into that. During the 22-23 year, I was also instructed by the then Chief of Police, Commissioner Mapie, to oversee the internal affairs section, because the structure wherein they were deployed, that division head was vacant, and I had to oversee that position then. One of the things that I want to upfront state, and this is my statement, is that to avoid any confusion, because of colloquial speak, is that any reference to Makwenasi, that will mean it's Julius Dr. Makwenasi, who is a Deputy Municipal Police Commissioner, and he's appointed as the Deputy Chief of Police, responsible for operations and specialized services in the Ekurhuleni Metro Police. And he was previously a director with the rank of a brigadier in the specialized services section of the Metro Police. And I have also served for a very short period from the 27th of March to the 5th of March. I've served as the acting Chief of Police when Commissioner Mapie was on family responsibility leave. And I had to attend council meetings and carried on the service of the business for that specific period then as the acting Chief of Police.
Thanks, Commissioner. May I take you back to your paragraph 6 about the period of service as acting Chief Police? I think you got the dates wrong as you mentioned them. Can you please restate them for the record?
The council meeting was the 26th January, and I served from the 27th of March to the 5th of February.
Okay, you make the same mistake. Your statement reads, I served as the acting Chief of Police for the period 27 January to 5th of March.
That should be a typo then.
Okay, then how should it read?
The council meeting was on the 26th of January.
Yes.
And I was, during that night, appointed as the acting chief from the 27th of January and then only to the 5th of February. It was only for that week period.
Oh, so it's the 5th of February. You kept saying the 27th of March. That's why.
Sorry.
Okay. Duly corrected. Thank you. And then at paragraph 8, you indicate that you then received a formal letter appointing you as the acting Chief of Police. And in fact, that paragraph correctly reflects the period.
Correct.
As 27 January 2023 to 5th February 2023.
Correct.
And then you attach a copy of that appointment letter, as RS1. Is that correct? You can go to the big file, and the document that you have marked RS1 should appear at page 1 of that file.
That is correct, Commissioners.
Thank you. Commissioner
Can
Kumar?
I ask a silly question for my benefit? How do we address the witness? Does he retain the title commissioner after retirement?
That's a tough one for me, Commissioner.
Maybe he can answer.
Perhaps the witness can answer for himself.
If that's the title, then we will respect it throughout.
Commissioner, I did retire, but after my retirement, I was re-employed again into the Tshwane Metro Police, and I'm again a commissioner in the Tshwane Metro Police. So,
Thank you.
Commissioner is correct.
So as things stand, you are back in the service, except with the Tshwane Metropolitan Police Department. Is that correct?
Correct, Commissioner.
And that was from which date?
From the 2nd of March 2025.
Thank you. You're getting into the testimony you're about to give. Your first chapter is headed Investigation into Alleged Misuse of Blue Lights and EMPD Resources. You see that? It starts from paragraph 9. Before you deal with the contents of paragraphs 9 and following, I'd like to bring to your attention that Chief Mapieye, who is the current commissioner within the EMPD, has touched on some of these issues. So to the extent that perhaps there might be interruption, please accept that the commissioners have been part informed about these matters. However, there will be no attempt to restrict the testimony you would like to give in regard to this matter. I just wanted to bring that to your attention because you were not present when he was testifying. With that caution, then I would invite you to consider from paragraph 9, paragraph 9, and you can lead the commissioners through this part of your testimony. And to the extent that you are able to speak to these paragraphs, not necessarily read them, I would suggest that would be most effective. Thank you. If you can.
Thank you, Commissioners. As I stated earlier, I was acting as the Chief of Police for that period. And on the 2nd of February, Lieutenant Colonel Kelebogile Tipa, who was appointed as the media spokesperson for the Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department, forwarded the email to me, which originated from a journalist from News 24, Mr. Jeff Wicks. And it pertains to 5 questions that started off with questions about blue lights, regulatory use of it, and to who it might be issued. Attached to this email was also a memorandum on an EMPD letterhead, which purports to be a to whom it may concern letter, and wherein a list of vehicles was listed, that these vehicles is our vehicles. I was at that specific moment, I was in a meeting, but she sent me a WhatsApp as well, wherein she said to me, I actually first read the WhatsApp before I read the email. Because on the WhatsApp, she says, here's 2 video clips. This relates to the email. And I then read the email, and in the email, there was questions then wherein there was allegations that there was a video clip where vehicles is being used in a convoy using blue lights and sirens. And then also a clip where there's vehicles that is at a small little airport with an airplane in the background. I immediately, while I was even reading the email, I started to draft the answers to the questions itself. Like the first one is a very easy answer because it asks what is the regulations and the legal situation around the use of blue lights, where I actually just copied and pasted the National Road Traffic Act's regulation pertaining to the use of blue lights. And it stepped further deep in where I finished drafting all the answers to it. I then sent that draft answers. I sent it back to Lieutenant Colonel Kelebogile Tipa, and I also CC'd the Chief's staff officer, Colonel Ivan du Plessis. The reason I obviously CC him is that because I'm acting chief, I must keep his office so that they know what everything is happening, what I'm doing. And I started then a process immediately thereafter of following up, because in this letter, the allegation of the vehicles, there's allegations that these vehicles belong to us. I immediately contacted a Colonel Madeleine Bloemhoff, who is heading our fleet section and pounds section in the logistical support section. And I requested her telephonically, can you immediately check for me if these vehicles belong to us? And I gave her the registration numbers. She checked and verified on our internal asset register and she immediately informed me that none of these vehicles belong to us. It's not council vehicles at all. And I also then there was another letter which purports also to whom it may concern, which leads to a specific individual, CJ Smith, who also stated that this person works for us and is doing work with us. So I also contacted a Colonel Wanda van Rooyen, who is at that stage, she was the Metro Police HR liaison person, and she had access to the employee database, which we call PILO. That's the name of the database. And she then confirmed and to me as well telephonically that we don't have a Metro Police officer with the name of CJ Smith employed by us. And I then go forward and I said to Lieutenant Colonel Kelebogile Tipa that she can release the media release because we've confirmed it's not our vehicles. It's surely sideline issues, and she can release the media release. She telephonically contacted me a short while later to say, but the journalist has just contacted her back and stated that he has got NATIS. NATIS is a National Traffic Information System where vehicles are registered on. Is that he's got NATIS proof that these vehicles are indeed registered in our name. And she then provided me, and I then actually started to immediately look at it and say, but this is very serious now. And I then formulated a letter and a formal instruction to the head of our internal affairs, Lieutenant Colonel Henny Erasmus, wherein I gave him instruction to say that he must immediately start to investigate this matter. It's very critical, and that he must also not delegate it because the allegations is against the brigadier, which is a senior rank, and I don't want him to delegate it to a junior constable or anything like that in the internal affairs to investigate.
Chief, if I may, before you get into the detail of the actual investigation that was carried out, listening to you, you would have dealt in large part with those paragraphs up to paragraph 18. I would like to take you back to paragraph 12. At paragraph 12, you reference a second letter that was received via WhatsApp from this Mr. Yako Honeycomb. Who is Yako Honeycomb?
Mr. Yako Honeycomb, and I will later my testimony touch on Mr. Yako Honeycomb again. He was part of a group of what in my mind today with hindsight is a rogue group of officers that was dealing together with our specialized services. But he was a security officer, and he was at a later stage, he was killed in a attempted hit or a hijacking incident. So Mr. Yako Honeycomb at that same day during this exercise, he gave me the information via WhatsApp where he sent this letter, which is exactly the same format that states to whom it may concern, and it's signed off by Julius Makwanasi as the deputy chief that this employee allegedly works for us.
Now, Mr. Yako Honeycomb, at the time he shared this letter with you via WhatsApp, was he a member of the EMPD or not?
No, he's a private individual that worked for a security company.
You then say this is a confirmation letter of work collaboration with a civilian, Mr. CJ Smith, and the EMPD truck hijacking unit. See that as your paragraph 12.
Correct.
You then proceed to state there is no such approved unit. Would you care to speak to that? Why do you say there is no such an approved unit?
In the structure of the Metro Police, under the Division Operations and Specialized Services, there are 5 subsections, which 3 of them is regional policing with the 3 regions, headed by a brigadier, which is a director title, but with a brigadier rank. There's a brigadier bylaws, and then there's a director brigadier specialized services. Under specialized services, there are units, and those units, which is formally on the structure, which exists and it's operating as units. There is, for instance, a speed law enforcement unit, there's an overload unit, there's a public order policing unit, there's a VIP protection unit, there is the canine and the equestrian unit that work under that. There's, however, no truck hijacking unit ever that have existed on that. There is no such thing on the structure.
Thank you. If you look at your statement, as I indicated, you had spoken to matters you cover up to paragraph 18. Do you confirm that you've covered everything in those paragraphs?
Correct. Maybe if I can just add that when Kilabugile Tipa informed me that it's on notice, we also confirmed that these vehicles have been obviously registered by our corporate fleet proxy, Mr. Chris Stein, because he's the one that complete the forms and make sure that it can get registered on the notice system.
When you say he's a vehicle proxy, could you expound? What does that mean?
In terms of notice, the owner of a vehicle is normally a natural person, but when it comes down to a company or a municipality, a representative is appointed in terms of the National Road Traffic Act, which is then the main representative is called the proxy. He acts as the person to do all the business on behalf of the company or the municipality. And you also have a proxy and representatives because it's the proxy office actually, but the proxy for the city of Ekurhuleni is Mr. Chris Stein.
And in that paragraph where you reference Mr. Christine, you say Lieutenant Colonel Tipa informed me that she had received information suggesting that 3 of the vehicles on the list were in fact registered with the EMPD, right?
Correct, Commissioner.
It is the choice of wording I want us to discuss. You say she said she had received information suggesting that they were so registered. Is there confirmation? Are you aware of any before you left? Did you become aware of any confirmation as to whether or not they were in fact registered?
Yes, Commissioners. At the moment, that same day when she phoned me, we were speaking about 3 vehicles. However, after I gave Colonel Erasmus instruction to start investigating this matter, within the next week, we already discovered that it's actually 4 vehicles that have been formally registered on our name by using the papers of Mr. Chris Stein as the proxy. The papers and everything was obtained from him, and it was registered by Julius Makonasi at the Whiteville offices.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Spies, did Mr. Stein know anything about this registration? Did you find out whether he knew that these vehicles were registered and what were the circumstances?
Yes, Commissioner. Mr. Stein there was eventually a criminal matter registered and there was an internal disciplinary inquiry by my internal affairs done. In both cases, Mr. Stein gave affidavits to the effect that he actually supplied the papers and everything because Brigadier Julius Makonasi is a very senior person, approached him, informed him that there is a MOU with a company, Medicare 24 and CAT VIP Security, and that they have made a donation. So he took it on face value and he made a submission that he actually provided the papers. He gave instruction that the clerk that deals with it, Ms. Deborah Moremi, that she can give the papers and everything to Brigadier Makonasi. So there is a formal confirmation that Chris Stein made to say that he gave instruction to Deborah, and Deborah then also, there's a statement from her that she gave the papers to Makonasi and them, and they then did it on their behalf.
Thank you. Mr. Law, should we not, for purposes of the record,
yes, Commissioner,
reference the annexures? So from paragraph 9, you've got an RS21, and the witness has spoken to those questions, but you haven't referenced where we
Indeed.
find this and so on as we go.
I'm happy to. And I will take you back, Commissioner, to paragraph 9, particularly in light of the fact, and thanks Commissioner Baloyi for drawing my attention to it. These questions arose during the evidence of Chief Mapieye, and I specifically undertook that they shall be answered through you, Commissioner Spies. So before we deal with the actual investigations that were conducted on your instruction by Colonel Henny Erasmus, Can we then deal with the original query that you received from Mr. Jeff Weeks? You deal with that at your paragraph 9. And you say at paragraph 9 that you attach a copy of the email you received from Mr. Weeks as an extra RS21. Do you see where I'm reading?
Correct, Commissioner.
Can I then invite you to RS21, or which would appear at page 2 of the annexures file?
Correct, Commissioner. It's got a large red number 2 and 3 on the top page. That is the original emails correspondence received from Jeff Weeks, which then have been forwarded by Kilebogile Tipat to me on 2nd February 10:51.
And it's a 2-page document, and it's actually a thread of communication, email communication. And as these things happen, the last email appearing is the first email appearing is always the last communication. So to read, we start from the back and work our way forwards. So if there are 2, it would appear that the original email received from Mr. Jeff Weeks starts at the middle of page 2.
Correct, Commissioner. February 2/23, 10:40, 54 a.m.
And from this document, it would appear that it's sent by Jeff Weeks and it is addressed to Kilebogile Tepa. You said earlier that this is Lieutenant Colonel Kilebogile Tepa, who was the media spokesperson for the EMPD.
Correct.
Could you take us through the contents then of this email, whose subject line is request for comment, News 24 investigations?
Commissioners, that it purports to be that Jeff Weeks then stated, "Good morning, Superintendent. Thank you for coming back to me so promptly." Even though her rank is Lieutenant Colonel, but the media addresses the Superintendent. I approach you today regarding a story that we are pursuing, which centers on a Pretoria-based security firm called CAT VIP. According to PSIRA is the security industry regulator, CAT Protection and Security Pty Ltd, trading as VIP Protection Services, with a PSIRA registration number of 2748723, is registered with the authority as a security service provider since 7 June 2018. He then stated, "I have in my possession correspondence under the letterhead of City of Ekurhuleni and the Metropolitan Police Department. It is dated 16 October 2021, and it is signed by Brigadier J.D. Makwanasi of Specialized Services. It's attached for your ease of reference. 2 videos from the social media page of Cordelia Kabeng, wife of Vusimusi Matlala, the owner of the aforementioned security company, have been sent to you via WhatsApp. In these videos, blue lights and a siren can be seen in operation. The letter appears to be one of authority for a private security firm to utilize equipment which the Road Traffic Act states should be the preserve of law enforcement." And then there's 5 questions. Please confirm that my assertion regarding the Road Traffic Act prohibits the use of blue dash lights and sirens are for the exclusive use of law enforcement is correct. Please, can you explain the substance of the letter from Makwanasi? How does this private firm assist EMPD officers in any VIP protection and security services? And please, could you supply me with a copy of the Memorandum of Understanding as mentioned in this letter? Do you acknowledge that it is uncommon for private security companies to have this authority bestowed upon them? And can you please describe the relationship between the EMPD and Mr. Madlala, inter alia his company, as we will assert that this is proof of connections of undue influence in a law enforcement body? The last one is not a question, just please feel free to add anything which may be pertinent.
Thank you. And it appears to emanate from News 24 and does indicate it's from Jeff Weeks, investigative journalist.
Correct, Commissioner.
Going back then to page 2, at the top of that page. This is an email of the same date, February the 2nd, 2023 at 10:51. It appear 10 minutes after the first one was sent to Lieutenant Colonel Tepa. And it's addressed to you, Rivers Peace.
Correct, Commissioner.
And can you deal with that email, please?
This is the email that was sent from Kelebogile Tipa to me as the acting chief. She included Liesel Tyers, who was the secretary of the chief of police, and Ivan du Plessis, who was the staff officer of the chief of police. And it says, "Good morning, Commissioner. The subject matter."
SAFM 104 to 107 nationwide.
Thank you, Bridget, and the team on the top stories. Mapieye alleges being threatened with the hitman and Sudan's government at odd ends with the RSF. For SFM News, I'm Ondilambana, and a very good afternoon. The Madlanga Commission has heard how Ekurhuleni Metro Police Chief Jabulani Mapieye was threatened with a hitman for insisting on a disciplinary hearing against his deputy, Brigadier Julius Mkhwanazi. Brigadier Mkhwanazi has been implicated in the Madlanga Commission for his alleged close ties with alleged criminal cartel syndicate member Vusumuzi Cat Matlala. This as Mkhwanazi allegedly authorized blue lights to be fitted into Matlala's